Having a lathe in your shop adds a lot of fun, whether it's a spring pole lathe like this one, or a bungee lathe like I have in my backyard, or a treadle flywheel lathe against the back of the shop, or my electric mini lathe over in the other corner. I can use my lathes to make furniture, but I also can make little useful things around the shop, and that's what I'm going to do today. I have a lot of different files and rasps floating around the shop, from metalworking files for sharpening saws to cabinet makers files, and many of them came unhandled, and I've just been using those little interchangeable handles. You can slide on and slide off and they just wedge in place. Well, since I started working with more premium rasps, this one's from Liogé in France and this is an RU in France, they come with handles already installed. And at least for the woodworking rasps and files that I use, that positive registration, that positive feeling of using it and having no vibration because the handle is perfectly attached to it, it gives you a lot more control in use. And the same thing I found applies when I'm sharpening a saw. If the handle is wiggling about on me, I have a hard time holding my line. So I've decided, rather than having all these interchangeable handles, that I'm just going to go ahead and start installing handles permanently on all of my files and rasps. So that's what I'm going to use the pole lathe for today. I was given this birdcage awl by Shenandoah Toolworks a while back to test out, and I've been using it a lot. I absolutely love it, but what I really love is the shape of this handle. I've got pretty big hands to start with, and the fact that this big bulbosity at the back here fits nicely in the palm of my hand and allows me to grab it and work the birdcage awl with this nice big reference surface behind it. Now, I'm not going to go quite as big on this bulbous part, but this shape was really inspiring me for the handles that I'm going to make for the rest of my files and rasps. So grab yourself a piece of stock, whatever species you want. You want it to be about 7 to 8 inches long and probably be able to get at least a 2 to maybe 1.5 to 2 inch diameter once turned into a cylinder.
Well, I should have spent the night in a cheap motel somewhere in Hickory. I left from home about 4:45, and that's the best thing that went for me. I lost my way at 85 and 40, and I lost my wallet too. It sure does hurt you when you don't eat right and you're drinking coffee like soup. 'Cause all I am is a helpless wanderer inside. All I want I should have come home and turned on the coil to get that teapot hot and tossed in some peppermint. And I'm not talking about schnapps, but yes, it's true, I was feeling blue and I poured myself a big strong brew. 'Cause I was feeling lonely, all on my own. So what's a girl to do? 'Cause all I am is a helpless wanderer inside. All I want bumpy ride. And I should have gone to bed at 8 o'clock and slept the whole night long with thoughts and dreams of healing things instead of sitting and drinking and singing songs. But I don't mind if I lie like a fiddle, just take the truth, slice it down the middle. 'Cause in the end there is little I can do. 'cause all I am is a helpless wanderer inside. All I want is to roll with the tide. I don't want no worries, no worries dangling at my side. 'Cause I'm a going home, but it sure is a bumpy ride. Yes, I'm a going home, but it sure is a bumpy ride.
Just clamp the handle up in a vise, and I'm mixing up some 2-part epoxy. Honestly, I don't think I'm gonna need this because the stepped hole I drilled in here seats the file nicely, and my depth line is about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch. So if I just hammer this in, it should bind up tightly. But since I'm doing this permanently, it's certainly not going to hurt to just add a little bit of epoxy to the mix. Now, I need to pay attention to the grain orientation. The tang is of constant thickness in this dimension, but you can see it's tapered in the other dimension. So I need to create the wedging action with the grain. So the grain is running from front to back here. So the wedge needs to go in line with that. If I go 90 degrees, that wedge is going to want to split the whole thing apart. A little tap, and you can see I've got a depth mark, just a pencil mark. So I'm just going to keep tapping until I reach that mark, and I'm there. And a little bit of epoxy in there will firm it up for good. But what I'll do is just leave it clamped up for now because of the low viscosity of the epoxy. I don't want to have to risk it running out all over me. So I'll leave that for about 24 hours just to be sure to let it cure. That's one down and probably 6 or 8 more to go. In case you were wondering, that lovely music we were listening to while I was turning is by 3 talented ladies of Underhill Rose. And I want to thank them for allowing me to play that song. It's called Helpless Wanderer. It's from their album Something Real. And the reason for this commercial is Underhill Rose is trying to produce another album, and they have a Kickstarter campaign going on right now. I'm already a backer. I was the backer of the first album, and I'm a backer of the second album at a slightly higher level. I'm actually hoping they'll be able to write a custom tune for me that I can use here on the show. So of course that tune won't happen unless the whole campaign gets funded. So if you liked what you heard, head over to their Kickstarter page or go to underhillrose.com and support them. They're a fantastic band. I love what they stand for, and thanks again, Underhill Rose, for allowing me to use one of your tunes today. Thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.